All right, factoring by the greatest common factor, day 1. Okay, so yesterday we did GFC, or greatest common factor of pairs. You were given two different numbers and asked to find the common factors between them. Now, one of the easier ways is to take your smaller number, let's say 15, okay, and give all the factors of 15. So 15 is 1, 3, 5, and 15. Okay, since that's all there are for the smaller number, then you can take them and go into your bigger number. Okay, so we look at 15, doesn't go into 21, so it doesn't work. 5, obviously isn't going to work, but 3 will. So the greatest common factor, just the number of this one, will be 3. Now, the next easy way, instead of yesterday, I showed you guys to do this and then kind of pair them. The easier way actually is to look at your smaller one of the exponents. I've got a 3 and a 2. So I have 2 here, and since I can take 2 here, that would be my greatest common factor. So for this one, the greatest common factor of both of them is 3x squared. Okay, so we're going to take that today and we're going to do the factoring of it. Okay, so I'm asking you to factor 20x squared minus 15x. So you're going to do like we did before. We got to find the greatest common factor for these two first. Okay, so looking at it, like we said, 15 was it. And so I know that this is 1, 3, 5, and 15. Looking back at 20, can't be 15, so it's going to be 5. Okay, so we have 5. Then go to your lowest exponents. Remember, this is an exponent to the first. Okay, so that's the lowest I can take out because I can take 1 from each. Now, the difference now today is we're going to actually finish factoring this out. So we're going to divide each of these by that 5x. So this becomes 20 divided by 5, which is 4. And then remember, you've got a 1 here, and when you divide exponents, you subtract. So this becomes just an x. Bring down your negative sign or your minus. Do 15 divided by 5, which is 3. And then your x's cancel out. So now this one factored out as 5x. Then inside parentheses, you can even fix that one. It'll be 4x minus 3. Okay, let's look at another one. So our other one now is 44a squared plus 11a. Okay, so find a number. I'll take my smaller number. The only factors for 11 are 1 and 11. And luckily 11 goes into 44. So we're going to do 11 for this one. And then looking at it, this one has 1a, so that one has an a, so I'm able to take at least 1a out. So now we're going to divide each of these by the 11a. So this is 44 divided by 11 is 4. Subtract your exponents, so 2 minus 1 is 1, so I just have an a left. Now back here, everything cancels out. Don't put it as a 0, put nothing. Remember, 11 divided by 11 is 1. So this one factored out as 11a, and then inside the parentheses is 4a plus 1. So this one is completely factored out. Now, there will be times when you have to do it for 3. And yes, there will be times you have to do it for 4, but that'll be another lesson. So we need to factor out 12n plus 9n plus 21n. Okay, once again, go to your lowest term. Here's my lowest term, it's a 9. My factors for 9 are 1, 3, and 9. Remember, you only have to list the 3 once because it's just a 1 factor, even though 3 times 3 makes 9. So then looking, I would go to the biggest. Okay, 9's not going to work here, and 9 won't work here, so it just doesn't even matter. But 3 will work for both. So the greatest common factor for these 3 is 3. Now look at your variables. I have 1 here, and that's my least, but I can take at least 1 from each. So our greatest common factor for all three is 3n. So once again, we're going to divide each of these by 3n. So going again, remember each of them has a 1. So 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then remember, we subtract exponents, so 5 minus 1 is 4, so it's n to the 4th power. Move on to the next one, it's going to be plus, so 9 divided by 3 is 3. So then move up that one and do 2 minus 1, so that we have 1n left. Plus, then do 21 divided by 3, which is 7. And then the n's cancel out, so this is your trinomial completely factored out. 3n was the greatest common factor, 4n to the 4th power, plus 3n, plus 7. Okay, so let's take a look at one more. This time I have 24n to the 3rd, plus 12n, plus 6. Okay, so 6 being the lowest, let's get all the common factors for 6. Okay, so just kind of go above. It's 1, 2, 3, and 6. Okay, so looking, go to 12. Okay, 6 will work there, and 6 works here. So we're able to pull a 6 out of each one. Okay, now looking, I have n to the 3rd here, n to the n here, but no variable here. And since I can't pull an n out of all three, n cannot be a greatest common factor. So each one of these is just being divided by 6. So 24 divided by 6 is 4. Since we did nothing with the variables, we're just going to write it down. Then 12 divided by 6 is 2. Nothing with that, so we're going to write it down. And then 6 divided by 6 is 1. Remember, hold that spot because there is something still there. These are completely factored out now. 6 being the greatest common factor. What's left when I divide is 4n to the 3rd power plus 2n plus 1.